Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. The voice of God that you're hearing right now, that's me. I'm Jay. I'm a literary fiction writer. It's November, so I wanted to get into that NaNoWriMo spirit, so I made a goal to spend 90 hours working on my project. And if you're new here, the project I'm referring to is called The Shark Book. That is my little YouTube nickname for it. Here is the mood board. I think it's stunning. Please comment down below if you also think it's stunning. The Shark Book is a literary fiction novel. It's about shark divers in the Florida Keys, and right now I am prepping to start draft 2, which I will talk all about in this vlog, so don't you worry. However, for the one girl out there who wants to see me work on draft 1, all of these videos are about that. But yes, for this vlog, I started filming it on November 4th. So that means for the first 3 days of this challenge, I do not have any footage because girls just needed some me time. So that is why my intro is like this. It's a little slideshow for the first 3 days, a little recap. So here we go. On day 1, I started the read through of draft 1. Here's a real selfie. And I spent about an hour and 15 minutes this day. Here's my tracker that I made just for YouTube, just so I could film myself coloring. Was it worth it? You tell me. But yes, obviously I'm a little behind because if I'm gonna do 90 hours in 30 days, I should do 3 hours every day. However, in my defense, it was Halloween the night before and I went as Antarctica and it was very tiring to be Antarctica. So I failed a little. On day 2, something very exciting happened, which is that I finished the read-through of draft 1, which this is a lot of confetti and maybe too much, which I will get into in the vlog. However, I successfully wrote for 3 hours, so here's me filling in part of my tracker. Also, quick side note for those who care, something else exciting happened, which is that the Bills beat the Chiefs. Thank you. Then on day 3, I officially made the Google Doc and started my revision plan, which I will tell you all about in the vlog, don't worry. And on this day, I wrote for 3 hours and 35 minutes. So here's what the tracker looks like right now. For the month so far, I've written for 7 hours and 50 minutes, which is a little behind, but what is a girl to do? Okay, that is all for this intro, and now we can get into the vlog. Mwah. Hey guys, welcome to this. It is officially November. Happy November, everybody. A big month to be us. Big month for AuthorTube. Yeah, I wrote for an hour and 40 minutes today. I wrote for about 20 minutes this morning, as we saw. And then at work, I got so many breaks today. I got, I guess, an hour and 20 minutes worth of breaks, which was great. I kept following, trying to follow the kids out the door. They would go places. And then the aides were like, you stay. And I was like, oh. Yeah, so I'll talk more about what I was actually working on later. But I need to tell you about my read-through. It was dark. It was a very dark couple days reading that. Not actually. Okay, I did start to spiral for a little bit, but I pulled it together. Here are some thoughts. Number 1, in a previous vlog, I mentioned how the second draft would be really short, take a really short amount of time. I don't think I'm gonna have to rewrite a lot of it. And then I was like, if it takes really long, then I must have done something wrong. It's pretty bad. Okay, yeah. Draft 2 is a rewrite, okay? Let me explain why. 2 things. Number 1, the whole plot is just so outlandish. the concept for the book as a whole, I don't even want to say it. It's so embarrassing now. A shark. You know what? I'm not going to say. Let's just say they needed to find a specific shark for a specific reason, and it's just absolutely crazy, the circumstances surrounding this. And I kind of knew that, and I was like, I'll fix it. But I don't even want to fix it. I'm just ditching that. It's just, forget the shark search. No, thank you. There was like this whole Breaking Bad type crime organization. Okay, I don't want you to lose faith in me. I feel like the things I'm saying right now make me sound crazy. I know that that's not okay. It's okay. But for a literary, I love Breaking Bad. Walter White's on my wall with no pants on right now. But that's not what I'm going for at all. Like, at all. Like, in this light, I would never do this. Basically, I've talked. This is not a complete shock. I don't want you to think I blacked out and I wrote a whole draft and then I'm waking up and I'm like, oh my God. I knew that my tastes have changed in books and in my writing. And where I used to love these crazy stories, like plot-driven twists and turns, I don't care for that anymore. So I kind of knew going into this read-through that I wanted to change a lot of the plot. And I kind of thought I'm just going to tone it down, but I think I'm just going to get rid of it. Isn't that exciting? A book with no plot? My book has no plot and it's horrible. Even in draft one with this crazy plot that I had going on, the core of it was my main character and his best friend, their relationship. That is still the case. However, that is now the story. That's what the story is about. It is about them. It is still about sharks as well. Everything in the story is about their friendship. It's about two people love each other very much, even though it's not good. I want this to be kind of like a character study, but instead of studying one character, it's studying a relationship, basically. So as I read through the first draft, I was like so distraught. Not really, because like I said, I kind of expected it, but wow. And I just remember agonizing over these scenes only to find that they are, I'm gonna burn them. But it's okay. I truly do not regret drafting cleanly, because drafting cleanly made me really spend a lot of time in the book and come to know my main relationship. So it's okay, I guess. It's fine. I think it was worth it. Yeah, because like throughout the crazy scenes, there would be these little moments of interesting character conversations that would lead to these ideas for how their relationship could develop. And I'm using a lot of that. I'll talk more about my revision plan and how that's going. But so in the midst of this horrific mess, I can't stress. No, it's probably not as bad as I think, but it's pretty bad. But in the midst of it, there are some gems, so it's okay. Also, the prose was like so bad. So many commas. Like the sentence is over, and there's another comma, and then there's another. And every paragraph is a metaphor, and it's like, please stop. And sometimes one image that doesn't even matter, I have two metaphors for it. And some of the metaphors are fine, but that's just not really what I'm going for. But by the end, it kind of got better. And I think because what happened is I just figured out what I liked in prose by the end, because at the beginning, I knew a couple books like Thirst for Salt I've talked about, Cleanness by Garth Greenwell I really like, Pure Color by Sheila Heti, and other books. There are books that I really liked the prose, but I didn't at the time really understand what I liked about it. So I was just kind of trying to make prose that sounded like that prose, but it wasn't actually doing what that prose was doing. So it just was a lot of commas. That was kind of scary. I think I like it simple. Now I really like prose that instead of trying to nail an image on the head, I like to just describe what something feels like and just give it like a feeling. And by the end I was doing that, and I know I can do it now. And it just hurts that I worked on this for most of the year. But again, I got better. I got better. I nailed down my taste. I think I'm gonna be fine. The other literary fiction book that I was working on while I gave this book a rest, I really like, and I think, well, now I think the prose is good, but probably come to find out. But I actually think it's good, and it's more my style, and I think I'm just finding it. I don't forget, but I just try to ignore the fact that I'm just a younger writer getting better all the time because I just want to be good. But I'm still getting better. Overall, I've discovered prose-wise, for me, less is more. The plot, I don't need a plot. There's no need for a plot. It's all about character interactions and moments and things like that. Good evening, everybody. Earlier I wrote for about 30 minutes and then my whole family came over. We had goulash, which I've never had before. But yeah, I did not know my family was coming over, so I did not write for 3 hours yet, but I'm still gonna write a little bit after I'm done filming this clip, and I will let you know my stats. But for now, I'm just gonna talk you through my revision plan so far, because I just started this. I have some big changes, which I kind of started discussing earlier, but I have more to say. My number one change is that I'm just simplifying it so much. And it's not even that it's that simple of a story now, but compared to what it was, it's way simpler. As I said, the plot is gone. I'm getting rid of the plot. And what I mean by this, which I thought was interesting. So in another vlog, I was kind of sharing a little bit about the structure of the first draft. And basically there was the present timeline, and then there was something that happened. There were two past timelines. One of them happened 3 years in the past, and then the other one was 5 years in the past. And the one that happened 3 years in the past, I dropped that at the end of Act 1. And then the one that happened 5 years in the past, I didn't share that until the end of Act 3. No. Yeah, my book was in 4 acts. So I didn't share the 5-year flashback until like 75% through the book. And that was always my favorite part of the book. That 5 years ago thing that happened, it was so good, because it was just character. Like something happened and then it was just character after that. And that's, as we've learned, is what I need and what I need to write. So now pretty much the whole book is just that flashback, but I'm expanding it and I'm building off of that. And the whole present timeline is just, it's not happening. There's maybe actually let me write this down. There's maybe 4 things that I want to keep. Okay, so there's a couple things that I want to keep from the present timeline, as it was called in draft 1, but mostly everything that was happening after this past timeline was just not needed for the story. Basically, it didn't illustrate a lot of new information about the relationship that I'm trying to unravel. It was kind of just like a prolonged, here are the effects of this thing that happened in the past. Everything that draft 1 was about is just gone now. And I feel so much better about it. It just feels right, because in the past, I thought that was too simple. I mean, I didn't even consider making it the whole story, but I never would have considered it because it seems so simple. But the characters are so interesting. So yeah, in draft 2, just less is happening. Like there are going to be fewer scenes, but the scenes are going to be really intricate, not intricate like complicated, but just really detailed, like really good dialogue and really good little body language things. That's what I like. I just want to build and have these scenes that all have a good vibe and they all feel like something, and it just feels like a story instead of this absolute chaos. Less is happening, and I think the book is going to be shorter now, which is great. I hope the finished product is like 60,000 words. I want to summarize less, because also the thing about these flashbacks that I had in draft 1 is they were written in little vignettes, and the vignettes covered a lot in a short period. I like the vignettes, and I think I'll get into the structure of it in just a second. I like the vignettes, but I don't like how much time is skipped. I was rushing through so much because I was like, oh, it's just a flashback. Like, we need to get to the story. But now it is the story, so I can just tell you every little detail about this friendship, and you will love the work that I've done. Yes, structure-wise, a couple things. I think I want to write the whole thing in vignettes. Some vignettes will be longer, like pages, a page, 2 pages, I don't know. Some of them will be longer, but a lot of them will be short. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll see how it goes. I've never tried to write an entire book like that, but it just kind of feels right. And then also something that I'm doing, or that I'm going to try to do, is split the book into defined titled sections. Right now I have 5 or maybe 6. I kind of want 2 of them to be really short, and I want each of them to be its own confined, I guess that works, but I meant contained story. But then they all go together as well, and they'll probably be linear, so it'll feel like a story, but I do want each section to be its own little thing, and I'm naming each section after a shark, but I have a specific reason for doing it, and I'm very excited about it, because this book is about sharks. Also, more sharks in this book, in this draft, and more diving dynamics and things like that. Another big change for this draft is that most of the characters from draft 1 are not going to make the cut. Like, I was reading draft 1 And at first, it kind of dawned on me slowly how much of this beautiful draft over here had to die. It dawned on me slowly. So at first in my notes, it was like, none of these characters really feel believable. And then it was like kind of tips to make them feel more believable. But then I was like, I don't even want to do that. Like, I don't even like these people. And then I was like, just kill them. Mostly this decision is coming from the fact that I'm trying to focus on my main two characters, and there's going to be other characters in draft 2 that matter a lot, but some of the characters and some of the relationships were just distracting from the main relationship. And the reason they even existed is because originally in draft 1 I had this specific theme. It had to do with grief, like a specific kind of grief, and I just realized I don't want to put that in this book. It doesn't make sense anymore, and it's just would be distracting. And I feel like if I wanted to really do that well, then I couldn't focus on the relationship and vice versa. So that theme is gone, and pretty much all of the characters in draft 1 were serving that theme. And then my friendship was just kind of its own thing. Yeah, everyone's dead and there's no theme. These days, as I am brainstorming and figuring out my revision, I'm just thinking every decision I make, I'm like, how does this serve the relationship, and how does it show the dynamic, and how does it like challenge them? I just want everything to matter. So I find myself kind of putting, like, right now I'm just trying to figure out the structure, just the vague sequence of events that happens, and I'll find myself saying, okay, and then this happens because it's so integral to the plot. But then I'm remembering that was integral to the plot of draft 1, and I have to think, I'm like, why did I even put that in? And a lot of times it's not relevant anymore, so I'm finding I'm cutting a lot of things, but it feels good. It's weird because I feel like I know these characters so well, but really this is a whole new book. I never thought this would be me rewriting my whole book, but it is. And then also, just last but not least, I've written out a couple scenes, little test scenes, mostly dialogue, and I'm just realizing how much more relaxed I want to be with my prose. And just simple, and like I said earlier, just evoke feelings, and it's like, oh, like if you pick the right words and the right details, it feels great. I will put metaphors in this book, but there will not be a metaphor in every single paragraph, and that is a promise. Less is more, people. Well, everyone, full disclosure, it is the next day. I was gonna lie and pretend it was later that same night, last night, but I could never lie to you guys. It's the next day, it's nighttime, I just got back from my jobs. I did film an outro last night, and the lighting was just so bad, and I was just gonna put a clip of me being like, oops, the lighting's bad, sorry, but it was just so bad. I was like, I can't do this. I'm filming another outro really quick. Also, I got this whale shark coin purse. Thank you. I just wanted to wrap up the vlog by talking about how I feel about this challenge that I'm doing. To write for 90 hours this month, I should roughly write for 3 hours every day. Actually, I should exactly do that, but that's not really happening. Last night, as you saw, I wrote for 2 hours and 20 minutes, I think, instead of 3 hours. For me, and this is why I don't really do challenges and why I'm not good at them. My very first video was a challenge, and I was like, I hate challenges. I'm never doing this again. Because I don't like, if I'm really, really tired, like mentally tired, I don't want to write because I just feel like it's nothing. I'm not going to write anything good. I do think I will succeed at this challenge. I think I'm going to have to, toward the end of the month, have a couple big writing days. It's the NaNoWriMo spirit. I have to do it. But I really don't like pushing myself. I hate working. Yeah, I just feel like for me, when I'm done, I'm done. But it's good to hold myself accountable. This challenge really makes me sit down and think, am I just being lazy, or am I really done and I can't write anymore today? Yeah, today I thought of this scene. I wrote a little bit of it, and all day when I had free time, I would just zone out and think about this one look that my two main characters are going to give each other after one of them says something. Whenever I had a moment to think, I would just think about the way they were looking at each other, and I was like... So yeah, It's going great. Anyways, that's all I have to give you people today. Please comment down below what you're working on this month. Comment down below your middle name. Comment down below really anything you want. I just love when I click on my bell and somebody commented. I'm like, yeah, I love it, because that's kind of the point of starting my AuthorTube channel. Actually, that's the whole point. Well, actually, fame and money, and then friends. Okay, bye. I love you. Mwah.